For many of us in the UK, especially for those that live in a rural area like myself, you've likely had to deal with tragically slow broadband because of being stuck on an old copper line ADSL connection to your house, which really is only capable of maybe 15 megabit download and probably less than 1 megabit on the upload. So you've likely resorted to trying out maybe a 4G mobile broadband service from someone like 3 that offers rather affordable unlimited data plans on their mobile routers, which is what we done. I picked up a free SIM card and paired it with a Poynting antenna. Shout out to Poynting because they did send out a 4G/5G gigantic, probably very overkill antenna, but that literally doubled the Wi-Fi speed. Without the antenna, we was getting somewhere in the neighborhood of about 20 to maybe 30 megabit per second download, and the upload speed was somewhere around 10 to 20. But like I said, when we paired it with that Poynting 4G/5G antenna, literally speeds doubled, like night and day difference. The download speeds would sometimes peak near 100, so technically a lot more than doubling, but on average they sat at around 50 megabit per second on the download, and the upload speed was between 40 and maybe 50 sometimes. Again, it would fluctuate quite a bit given that it's a 4G connection, but nevertheless, now, as you can see in the speed test behind me that we just ran, we have now got full fiber broadband to the house. I can actually see the fiber line running from the telephone pole to the house right above me here. And bear in mind, we just achieved the speeds you see on screen here over Wi-Fi, all thanks to the NETGEAR Orbi Wi-Fi 7 quad band triple mesh system that we have here. But before I talk about my experience using that Wi-Fi 7 system from NETGEAR, let's first run a speed test using the original Vodafone Wi-Fi router that they supplied us with. Now, bear in mind, we're paying just £36 a month for this connection, and let's see what the standard Wi-Fi router in the same location can achieve. We're paying for gigabit broadband here, and we're getting 90 megabit, not even that really. If you are paying for, say, a 100 megabit up and down connection, perhaps the standard Wi-Fi router will be okay. However, in this case, it's not. And if you end up paying for gigabit broadband, chances are you're gonna want to upgrade your Wi-Fi router, because in at least the case of Vodafone, the standard one they provide you, I think is running on either Wi-Fi 5 or Wi-Fi 6, not the Wi-Fi 6E standard, not Wi-Fi 7, just this. And unfortunately, the speeds you think you're paying for, you're not gonna get. Not over Wi-Fi at least. Over Ethernet, you'll get it all day, every day, no problems. But over a Wi-Fi connection, especially like if you have a large home, chances are you're not gonna run hundreds of meters of Ethernet cabling all around your home to make sure everything's, you know, wired up instead of using Wi-Fi. So this isn't really, no, this isn't good. And now I've gone ahead and switched back to the Wi-Fi 7 system from Orbi, and immediately we're getting pretty much 10 times the speed. You know, exactly what we're paying for over Wi-Fi. Now, in order to achieve speeds like this over Wi-Fi, one, you're gonna need a good Wi-Fi router. A good example is the Orbi system we have downstairs, but before I was using this, I actually tried out the NETGEAR Nighthawk RS700 Wi-Fi router. Now, this isn't like a mesh system like the Orbi one. This is just a single router, say for a smaller home. Still very, very capable, still with the Wi-Fi 7 standard, 6 gigahertz dedicated band. It can achieve these exact speeds as well. I've tested it, it has proven itself to be incredibly capable. But if you have a larger area that you want to cover with Wi-Fi, you're going to ideally want to get some kind of mesh system where you have a primary router and then satellites that wirelessly pair to that router and transmit the same Wi-Fi ID, same Wi-Fi password that you connect to. So as you move around, say, one massive home, and you have these dotted around in different parts of the home, you'll still be on the same Wi-Fi network, you'll have the same broadband that you're paying for, everything will just be like smooth, and you won't have to swap your Wi-Fi network as you move from room to room, you know? It just makes life so effortless, and in terms of your Wi-Fi, it's just dead stable, everything's like reliable and stress-free, I suppose. Now, despite this system on paper saying that it's made for like a 9+ room whole home coverage type of environment, yeah, you could without a doubt use this in like a gigantic home and probably achieve very, very good results. But in our case, we have put the primary router in the center of the home. And then we've put the satellite at the very front of the property, right below my office here, to basically cover this home. And I mentioned earlier, I think, we have one in a different property entirely, going the complete opposite direction. And there's a reason we put the middle one in the center. So I think everything pairs to the primary satellite. The satellites don't pair to one another, they pair to the primary router. So we put that one in the middle. And then this third satellite, we put it 30 meters away in a different building. This genuinely blows my mind how this is even possible for it to achieve like really good speeds and be reliable that far away. But it's over 30 meters away, and it's wirelessly sending the signal from the primary router to this satellite through a metal building, a wooden building. Like, it's not even in direct line of sight of one another, and it still is somehow dead stable. It never drops out, and the speeds, you're not getting gigabit, but you're getting 200, 300 megabit download, and I think 100 megabit upload, which is exactly what we're paying for. We have like a 900 megabit download speed and a 100 megabit upload speed. Don't know why it is the way it is, but that's just like our gigabit broadband that is available here. But it's still, without a doubt, mind-blowing that it can send a signal that far and still be dead stable and have really good speeds. I've never seen anything like it, and I've tested some pretty good Wi-Fi systems in the past, mainly from NETGEAR that is, but this one in particular just takes things to like a whole nother level. And of course the Wi-Fi 7 standard is very impressive. And it's not just like a marketing gimmick where like, look at all the numbers, they're all bigger, therefore it's definitely gonna be a better experience for you.
Bigger number, better.
Thanks, Steve.
No, the speeds that you actually get with Wi-Fi 7 are far beyond what's possible on Wi-Fi 6 or even Wi-Fi 6E, especially over Wi-Fi 6. Like, this is a night and day difference. If you have a gigabit broadband, this is ideally designed for something beyond just 1 gigabit up and down. But if you have, say, like a 10 gigabit internet connection, which is probably what this is designed for. I mean, it's got 10 gigabit Ethernet ports on, I think, every single satellite. The satellite has a 10 gigabit port and two 2.5 gigabit ports, and the primary router has two 10 gigabit ports and four 2.5s. Like, this is made for someone in Sweden or something, where you got like 10 gigabit to your home. Like, it is wild how powerful this thing is. And one other thing I really wanted to mention is this Wi-Fi 7 thing. Now, you have a Wi-Fi 7 router, but then my phone, for example, I think is using Wi-Fi 6. So I can't actually make use of all of the speed boost via this router on my phone, because my phone's on like an older generation Wi-Fi standard. But the good thing is, despite my phone being on Wi-Fi 6 and this being Wi-Fi 7 that I'm connecting to, you actually still get a speed boost, despite you being on like an older generation. So any device that you have that isn't Wi-Fi 7 on this fancy new standard will still actually perform better on this router than it would on the generation of Wi-Fi that it's like designed to work with. This will still give you a boost. And the only device I actually have that has Wi-Fi 7 is my PC. I've got a Wi-Fi 7 antenna here because the motherboard that I've got here actually supports the newest Wi-Fi 7 standard. And that's the only reason I can actually show off somewhat of what this is capable of, is because I've got a Wi-Fi 7 PC. I can actually go way above, I think, 1 gigabit download and upload because of the Wi-Fi 7 standard on my PC, and of course this being a Wi-Fi 7 Wi-Fi router. Like, the best speed test result I've gotten on my phone, like I could try run one now, I think I've gotten about 600 megabit download. Now, yeah, at the moment I'm upstairs, we're pulling 400, not bad. But yeah, my phone is on Wi-Fi 6. And if I get really close to the primary router or one of the satellites, yeah, I can get maybe 500, maybe 600 megabit download, which I don't think would be possible on Wi-Fi 6. So yeah, that's been my experience testing out the NETGEAR Wi-Fi 7 Wi-Fi routers, both the Nighthawk RS700 and the Orbi mesh system that we have here are phenomenal. If you have a gigantic single home where you have, I don't know, 9+ rooms, and ideally you have gigabit broadband or even beyond gigabit, you got 2.5 or 10 gigabit internet to your home, this is just out of this world. Like, the range alone is super impressive if you live on a farm or something and you want to dot these around multiple buildings and have Wi-Fi everywhere. Say for security cameras, you got like a bunch of Ring security cameras that all need Wi-Fi, and you've got them spread out across like a massive farm with multiple buildings. This will do a pretty good job because you'll have Wi-Fi everywhere. Everything will be able to connect to it. And if you also have like gigabit internet for the primary router, mate, it is just out of this world. Like good all round, good speed, good performance in terms of stability, and the range is just out of this world. But if you have a smaller home, this is also a phenomenal option. It costs way less. This has a 10 gigabit internet port as well as a 10 gigabit LAN port. This has to be like the first time I've had Wi-Fi routers where they're genuinely good. And I suppose it does help that there's a gigabit fiber line plugging into these now instead of a 4G connection. So links to both of them will be down below in the video description for you guys if you want to check out pricing in your own country and consider picking one of these up, especially for those of you that have a gigabit fiber line to your home. This would be a really good upgrade. Either one of these, probably this one for most people, as I doubt everyone lives in a 9-bedroom mansion. They 100% get my approval, and I'll see you guys in another video soon where it's a pretty big update coming to the channel. We're going to be doing a major change, to say the least.